Today, I'm going to show you how to use payroll financing to scale any business. And this isn't just about covering paychecks. This is about making sure that you strategically hire to grow your business. Out of the hundreds of businesses that I've helped get funding, the ones that are stuck when they're trying to scale, use this for the employees to get past the revenue level that they are stuck at. Now, you can't just get payroll financing with a 700 plus score. Your profile is very important to that. And if you want to make sure that your profile doesn't have the gaps that keep people from getting the financing they need to fund employees, go down below and check out my high limit funding engine, and you'll learn everything you need to know. Now, a lot of business owners think that hiring is a lot of risk, but I'm going to show you how this is actually the formula, and I'm going to give you the formula for scaling with it. Just stick around until the end of the video. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, if it's your first time hiring anybody, that you don't want to get stuck with more bills, and maybe you're even concerned about being able to cover the payments for these people that will be working for you. The thing is, you're thinking about it in the wrong way. Employees are not just costs, they are revenue generators when used strategically, and I'm not just talking about like commission salespeople. Okay, so let's take a look at what that formula looks like. So here you are, the business owner, and you're bringing 20K in revenue in a month. So that's a pretty good mark to be at, especially when you're just getting started or, within your first year or so. Basically, you're able to bring in 10K income. You take half of what's coming in, and we're not going to go into expenses and anything like that too much for the business because that can vary greatly. But let's just say you're taking home half of the money and you're making a 10K profit. That's what you by yourself. Now, also, by the time you get to 20K in revenue, you learn, and this is, for example, let's say you learn that this is the bottleneck of customers that you can handle. Well, guess what? Now you're going to be stuck at this level until you can duplicate yourself, which would be hiring another person. So until then, you're stuck at 20K revenue because that's the most clients you can handle. You're stuck at a 10K monthly income, and you have to do all of the work. Now, let's say you actually hire on another person, right? You hire on this other person. You pay them about half what you make because, you're the business owner. So they get about 5K a month. But now you can take on a whole nother 20K worth of clients. So now, because you have another body there that can take on the same amount of work as you, and you train them well and everything that you know how to do, now for half the money that you make, you have a new person there that now allows you to increase your total revenue to 40K a month. So now you've doubled your income just by hiring one person, and it's half the cost of what it costs for you to be in that same place doing it. Now, at the same time, you're making about 25K profit versus the 10K profit. So that is, a big increase just from hiring on one other person. But now, let's say you hire on another person, right? Now you can see the profit drops down to 20K. So it's 5K less at this point. But the benefit at this point, even though you're at 5K less in profit, is that now you still make the 40K a month. You're still able to make your same salary. You're able to cover the payments for two people to do the amount of work that you and the first person were doing. And now you get to take yourself out of the equation, and you don't have to do all of the day-to-day tasks that you would do. Now, of course, you're still going to be managing the business, making sure everything is on track and in order. But now you don't have to do the regular tasks that come with managing the clients and whatever goes into that. So now, again, you have taken a lot of work off your plate, and you're able to generate the same amount of revenue that you were with you and two people, and you're at 20K profit, only a little bit less than you were before. But now here's where it really is interesting. So now you become the CEO, right? You become the CEO. So now you're more growing the business. You're focusing more on getting more clients in the door. So now let's say you're able to increase your profits, increase your revenue, that is, at about 50% of what it was before. So it was at 40,000 before a month, and now you're able to get it to 60K. So now, because you were able to increase business by 50%, you can hire another person, pay that person 5K in income. So now all your employee costs are about 15K. You're still making your 10K unless you decide to increase your income, because now you're making more profit, because now your profit is 35K. So you took a 5K hit to take yourself out of the business and focus on growing the business. But now, because you have done that and you focused on growing the business and getting more clients in, now you've grown your profits to 35K. That's a major change from when it was just you only making 10K monthly from your 20K in revenue. And your revenue went up 3 times what it was. And you don't have to do all of the work that you were doing because now you have employees to handle that and you're just managing things and making sure everything is running smoothly. Now, how does payroll financing fuel this growth that we just discussed? Well, first off, it's going to cover the gap between hiring a person and the revenue catching up to where it needs to be. So as you know, when you take somebody on, just like when you went on to jobs as a new employee, you didn't know everything. You had to learn everything. You had to develop and sharpen your skills before you became good and proficient at whatever it is that you needed to do. So because of that, it's going to take that person some time to get to the point where you are, and you're going to have to take some time, with that person to develop them before they get to the point where they can fully take on your role and do things as you would do them, and hopefully even better. So that time that it's going to take, you're going to have to cover their paychecks until they catch up with that. That's where the financing is going to come to make sure that you can bring this person on, get them to the point where they can start taking on the same role the same way as you would. And then you can start to see those profits increase. And the same when you get to the second employee and the third employee, it lets you bring these people on so that you can get the growth going before that revenue starts to catch up and you were able to see that difference come in with the profits. And it also gives you peace of mind. If you know that the revenue hasn't been there to cover the person and you're not sure of how you're going to be able to cover that, this is really going to give you that peace of mind knowing that you have something there in place that can kind of give you a minimal payment on the cost of paying them until those revenues come in. And I can tell you that hiring on people and doing it in this way is greatly helpful. When I hired my first employee, I saw a drastic change in my revenue over that year. I think it was like increase somewhere between $40,000 to $50,000 that I saw that year just from hiring that person in the middle of the year. And it was because he was able to take some things off my plate and I was able to focus on getting more clients in the door. But look, you don't want to just secure financing just so that you can float the payments on a person that you're bringing on. You always have to have a plan for any financing that you're going to use. So I know everybody's business is different and some of you guys may need different employees for different roles within your business. So make sure when you use this financing for an employee that is going to help bring in more sales, that is going to help you to cover more clients or bring in more clients so that you can increase output, or making sure it's going to free up your time so you can do more revenue generating activities. This is going to work the best if you know exactly how that new employee is going to increase growth. And it's still going to be hard to get that financing if you don't make sure you have a clean credit profile to unlock the best versions of this payroll financing, which would be those 0% interest business credit cards. And I'll show you exactly how to get your personal credit profile to look like what the banks want to see, as well as strategies on obtaining 50 to 200K in business funding in my high limit funding engine. And in this next video, I'm going to show you the 5 mistakes that could get your applications for this payroll financing denied and how you can fix them before you apply. Or check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like. And I'll see you in the next video.